Welcome back to the Friday 13th YouTube channel, Metalheads. Hope you're having a great day. Today I've got a fantastic interview for you to check out. This is with the band Tungsten. Now, I've just interviewed vocalist Mike Andersson as we're talking about the new album called The Grand Inferno, which is coming out on the 18th of October, released on Rising Phoenix Music. Fantastic album and a great follow-up to the band's last album, Bliss. I want to thank Mike Andersson for doing this interview and also the record label. So, folks, please subscribe. Please leave comments. Please tell your friends to subscribe. Thanks for watching and please enjoy this interview and please share on social media. Thanks for watching. Stay metal. Hey, Mike. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine. I'm in the middle of my day job. So, yeah.
I was long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We're talking to Mike Andersson from Tungsten. Welcome to Friday 13th, Mike. First of all, I'm going to ask you a warm-up question. As a vocalist, who's inspired you as a singer? Who's your main influences? Who got...
Sorry, 2 seconds. Yeah. I had to do something there. Close the window because cars are driving here. So sorry about that. Yeah, can you take the question again?
Yeah, so my first question to you, as a singer, who's inspired you to become a singer? Who are your influences?
Yeah, basically, I mean, David Coverdale back in the early Whitesnake days, Bobby Kimball in Toto. I was very inspired by, and Ronnie James Dio, of course, and also other singers. I mean, in different genres that somehow have put an impact on me, like for example, let's say the singer Duran Duran. I mean, various singers, but mostly David Coverdale, Ronnie James Dio, Bruce Dickinson, Ronnie, and so forth.
Yeah, right then. So has anybody in your family in musical orientated, like your parents, are they guitarists, singers, or anything?
No, actually not. The thing is, I am adopted, so as far as I know, my biological father was kind of into the music and able to play guitar and stuff, but as far as I know, I'm the only one that really did something with the abilities, the musical abilities.
Right. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the new album before we talk about other things. The Grand Inferno, which is a fantastic album. Just tell me a little bit about the title. Who came up with the title for this album?
Yeah, it's actually not that dramatic. I mean, it's you can refer it to the world today, of course, with all wars and stuff going on, but actually it's about Nick's youth as a teenager,
Right.
when he grew up and how he felt about his surroundings, not been taken for seriously and stuff like that. So it became a mental grand inferno for him with yeah. So that's basically a psychologic lyric about a teenager growing up.
Okay. Then so who came up with the title?
Sorry?
Who came up with the title for the album?
I think we decided that all together in the band because the song "The Grand Inferno" is, as you notice, it's a little bit different to the average Tungsten song. So, and it is more epic and dynamic. So we thought it's a given title track. So yeah.
Okay. Then so who did the artwork for this album? Has he worked with the art you guys before?
Yeah, our first 3 albums we had Andreas Marshall,
Yeah.
who
He used
also
to do like Blind Guardian albums and stuff, didn't he, back in the day?
actually, I can reveal that the first single cover for Valboy was also Andreas Marshall, and that cover was actually intended to be the album cover for the Grand Inferno. But since we switched record label before starting working on Grand Inferno, they wanted something new. They wanted something different, not musically, but since it's a new label and a new era that begins, they would like us to do something different. So therefore, we asked a friend of ours, Jacob, that lives nearby our house, our home, to create a cover, a new updated Wolfram, with his skills. So yeah, it's an unknown guy. So yeah,
interesting. So is he the first band you've worked with?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're happy with the artwork. So you're going to be using him on the next album, I presume.
Possibly we will continue, I guess.
So what ideas did you give him for the artwork? How did you describe what you wanted for him to create this artwork for you?
Yeah, we wanted this lava and colors, dark and yellow, mystic feel to it. Yeah, something different to the previous albums. Two of them are blue, and the last one was green.
Yeah.
The Bliss album from 2022. So we wanted new colors, a new Wolfram in a complete new atmosphere.
Okay,
So
then.
yeah.
So was there any other titles for the album?
No.
No, just the Grand Inferno, and that was it. So
Yeah.
just talk about the songs. Do you actually write all the lyrics, Mike, for this album?
I don't write all the lyrics, but I think I write most of them. So Carl is writing some lyrics. Sometimes Nick, for example, wrote the lyrics for the Grand Inferno. But I write most of them at least. So and also vocal melodies and choirs and stuff is sometimes it's Carl that have a basic melody line that I work from. Other times it's me myself that do the whole thing. So yeah.
I mean, the album's got keyboards in it. Did you write some of the keyboards and songs? I know you've done keyboard samples with your previous band, Cloudscape.
Yeah, in Cloudscape I did a keyboard, but in Tungsten it's actually more or less only Carl.
Right.
Nick, to some extent, but Carl finalizes everything.
So how long did it take to record this album, and where was it recorded?
It was recorded in Harm Studios in Anderslöv, outside of Malmö. No, sorry, not Malmö. It was Trelleborg. Harm Studios is the name of the studio. The vocals, nonetheless, was recorded in my own home studio. And I think we started recording it, it was during autumn last year. So I think we were finished around February or something. That's when we were started to settle the deal with Reigning Phoenix Music as well. So it was around the same time signing for them when we completed the last mix of the album.
Right then. So was the album recorded in separate studios? I know you did your vocals, but was the guitar and drums done all together? Because a lot of bands don't do that anymore, do they? It's all separate studios to now.
Yeah, we used 3 studios, we can say. The drums are recorded in Anders' drum studio, which he calls Der Bunker.
What does that mean?
It's a German name, a bunker.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the bass, guitars, and keyboards and growls are recorded at Harm Studios, and all the vocals and choirs is recorded at my own home studio.
So, what are your favorite songs?
Mixed and mastered at the Harm Studios.
Right. Okay. Then. So, Mike, so what's your favorite songs from the new album? Do you have any favorites?
Oh, it's like children all the time. It's hard to choose, but I am very fond of the title track. It's very beautiful, but at the same time very big, very melodic, and will be a little bit surprised to our fans, I guess. So that's absolutely one of my favorites.
What about any other ones? Do you have any other favorites?
Yeah, oh yeah, I love the last song, Angel Eyes. I think is also kind of new for being Tungsten, a little bit 80s synthwave style with heavy guitars. We have the song called Falling Apart, which is really, really heavy, yet melodic. And the opening track, the opening track as well, but also Blood of the Kings. I mean, I could go on. Me, Myself, and I is a really cool song with a bass sound that is really captivating. I mean, So Falling Apart, the Grand Inferno, Me, Myself, and My Enemy, and Angel Eyes is possibly 4 of those that have that little extra to my taste. But I love them. I love them all. It's all a matter of mood and what I want to listen to at the moment.
Yeah, right. So which ones are your favorites that you've just subscribed? Are the ones that you wrote lyrically? Which ones are the ones that you wrote? Or those ones that you mentioned?
Let's see. Let's if I remember which one of them I wrote. Falling Apart, I think, was Carl actually. But Angel Eyes, for example, is a nice love story about a vampire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it something like you like to watch vampire movies and read books on vampires? Is that what inspired you?
Actually, not. I'm a little bit inspired by the 80s, back in the 80s, when the vampire movies was the thing. Nowadays, I don't watch that kind of movies much, but classics like The Lost Boys, Fright Night, and those ones are really nice. So
What about the Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing movies, the classic
that one is
Dracula?
also that one scared the shit out of me as a kid. I thought he was perfect as Dracula, Christopher Lee. That's where I think that was the first movie I saw with him. That one and Man with the Golden Gun, James Bond. So
So
yeah.
how would you describe your music? I mean, is it pagan folk, symphonic power metal? It's something completely different to what you did with Cloudscape, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very very broad music style. When I explain our music, I always write melodic metal with some industry metal, some modern power metal, also some folk metal. Like we had much of an our first album, much melodies was folk metal, so to speak. So yeah, that's basically it. Modern power metal with industrial folk and melodic metal
There's a,
touches.
I mean, there's two types of different power metal. There's the symphonic or the melodic power metal of Europe. Then there's the American power metal, which is more like Judas Priest, Queensryche influence. There's a big difference, isn't there? Spectrum between the two.
There's a big spectrum. I actually at first didn't know what modern power metal is because it was actually someone at the label that said, "No, well, your style is basically modern power metal, but with so much else in it, so to speak." But modern power metal is not like Judas Priest in that sense. I think it's more like I don't know, Tungsten. I mean,
I mean,
um,
these are the Hammerfalls, the Halloweens, and them kind of bonds. And then you've got like the Stratovarius, which brings in more of the keyboards. And then you've got the American stuff like Hellstar and Omen and them sort of bands, completely different.
yeah, I think then might be more American, I guess, style wise.
What
But
makes you say that?
yeah,
What?
power metal to me is just like I say, it is Halloween. Judas Priest, Judas Priest is more heavy metal, maybe,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, but basically the bands you mentioned, Freedom Call is a typical power metal band to my ears,
Gamma
and
Ray.
I don't think a Tungsten sounds like that at
No.
all. Maybe a song or two, but I guess that's why the word modern comes. That's what sets the difference between power metal and modern power metal.
Yeah.
So, but
So
I didn't come up with a name. It's only what I was told.
there's so many different categories now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and
But
that yeah, exactly. It is. It's actually confusing, but I think in our in Tungsten, I think that's the whole thing to keep us broad. We base our music on this folk metal thing with those Nordic melodic folk melodies,
yeah,
but then we have songs that goes always right, left, up and down, but still trying to keep the red thread. It doesn't get too much varied. So I guess that's also what makes us a little bit unique. I
yeah.
guess.
I guess the Viking stuff inspires you a lot as well, doesn't it? It would come from
And
Scandinavia.
Viking stuff is absolutely a kind of inspiration. We don't make it public that much because there are so many bands already doing this Viking thing. But
Monomath being the main one.
we are very interested in Viking history and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
mean, with the video for on the last album, we did a music video for the song Northern Lights, a ballad that we filmed in this Viking park close to where we live, where we rented the whole place and had people in as actors in it. Not actors, but in Swedish it's statist. Yeah, people, normal people that is part of the movie, so to speak.
Yeah. So a lot of, you've done. I've seen some of your videos that you've done in the past, and some of them are like animated.
Mm.
Why have you done animated videos?
Well, we haven't.
Well, one of them kind of looks like it's been like, it looks like your face is like almost like cartoons.
Yeah, that was Dreamer on the last album.
Right, yeah.
That was actually a little bit of a test that our guitar player tried. So it's more like a fun video that we did after the album were released, like an echo to the album. But it's more humoristic video, so it wasn't meant to look perfect or anything. It was just a fun video. So I always get to hear that I can fly, so which I do in this video. But I guess on the new album, there is one of the videos is very digital, animated.
Which one is it? Which song is it?
It's actually the music video for the title track, which will be released later in a few months.
Right. Are you doing any more videos?
We are in it for real, but all
Yeah.
the surroundings is digital. Yeah.
Okay, so I only plan to do any more promotional videos for this album. I guess you'll be doing another 2.
Yeah, there's actually next Friday, August 23, we'll release our 4th single.
Okay.
So I don't know what time. Yeah, on Spotify and Apple Music, it will be on midnight. But the video will be released, sometime during that day. But bookmark August 23.
What's the song?
Lullaby.
Why Lullaby?
Yeah, that's also a favorite song, actually.
So what does the video contain? Is it more like a kiddie thing, like kids growing up, lullaby, or is it?
Lullaby is more like inspired by the movie Mama. It's a horror movie.
All right, explain that. What's that about?
It's a little bit spooky. It's not a copy of the movie Mama, but it is a child where her mother the mother is not alive. She's a ghost, still trying to nurse her kid.
Right. So you didn't get inspired.
The melody that this children choir at the beginning of the song is the main theme, so to speak, the chorus, and hush a good night song, lullaby.
Okay.
So
he wasn't inspired by King Diamond, Spider's Lullaby.
Actually not. But I actually listened to that album just a few months ago, and it was so much better than I remembered it, because I always saw that one as the first one leaving the classic King Diamond style. But actually, I enjoyed it very much listening to it recently.
So have you got any reviews from anybody yet? Has anybody listened to it and said anything, to any feedback? Because the album's only just been sent to the press, hasn't it, recently?
Yeah, we haven't read much at all. But as last night, we got a review from Metal Fusion in Argentina, which gave us full score, 10 out of 10.
That's good.
That's the first time that happens for Tungsten. So that's very honorable. I personally, I don't think a 10 out of 10 album exists, because there is always something that you can, you know what I mean, but
improve.
Still, it's very honorable and funny. It's a big proof that the album is liked. So, and then I heard from another journalist that interviewed me last Friday, Michael Spigios. He also, he loves all our albums, but according to him, we keep progressing, growing better and better and better with each release. So it's really nice to hear. But apart from that, we haven't read anything yet. But I guess they will come now.
Yeah. So
one by one. So
So who produced this album, Mike? Was it done as a team effort? Was it yourself and Anders?
Actually, our guitar player Nick Johansson, that produced it. All of us works like executive producers, but he is the one that the last say and puts the sound to it, etc., etc. So
What's it like? What's it like being in a band with Anders and two sons?
it's actually honestly to be in any band. It's except for we have more fun.
Okay.
I mean, Anders is a fantastic person and drummer, a great friend, and also his sons is very musical, easy to work with, always close to a laugh. I mean, every time we get together, we have a fun time, and I guess that's also what makes Tungsten. It's of course it's business, but the business is below fun. We have fun when we are together.
Okay.
That's yeah.
So how did you get the deal with Reigning Phoenix Records? I mean, you were signed to Nuclear Blast. I mean, it's pretty much the same team, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less. Actually, A Rising Empire, our previous label, when we signed for them, they were a part of Nuclear Blast. But then I think it was around when we released our second album, Tundra. They parted ways with Nuclear Blast and started to work together with Edel instead. And
Right.
Edel is also a very, very big company in Germany. Very big. They have a Century Media. Yeah, lots of record labels under their banner. So things went better digitally, I think, while Nuclear Blast was more for the physical side of things. But yeah, with the new label, I mean, we are very happy and proud of what the Rising Empire did. They are, after all, the ones that put us here. They did a tremendous job. The only reason that we switched label is actually because of two reasons. One point in the paragraph that I keep silent, nothing important anyway, just a small detail, plus the fact that Rising Empire's musical label, that they basically work with metalcore bands.
All right. Yeah. So you wouldn't have fitted in anymore
So
anyway.
exactly, we didn't really fit in there. We did when we signed for them, but then they started more and more to specialize on the metalcore side of things. But they wanted to keep us for write a new contract after these first three albums. So and that was really nice. But the fun thing is that when we were in Hamburg last year on tour together with Bloodbound,
Yeah.
AFM came by and watched our show, and they left their contacts to us and told us, when it's time for you to negotiate new contract, please contact us. So that was really cool because that was done the old-fashioned way. You mean the guy with the tie and the suit comes to watch your show and likes what you do, and then gives you their contact. It's I think that's hilarious. It's wonderful, actually. It was so old school, but so nice, without sending a mail, or things like that. So eventually, these guys that from AFM that were in Hamburg, they later on left AFM in order to start up Reigning Phoenix Music together with the guys from Atomic Fire.
Yeah.
So you can say Reigning Phoenix Music more or less is a mix between people from Nuclear Blast and AFM.
Right. Okay. So basically, what does tungsten mean? What? Because a lot of people won't understand what it is. What is it?
Tungsten is the heaviest metal there is, with the highest melting point, where it needs the highest degree before it starts melting. You find tungsten in light bulbs, for example. This thing that lights in a light bulb, that's tungsten.
Okay.
It's also called wolfram.
Is that in Swedish?
Wolfram is Swedish, and
So
tungsten is
what did you call
it was
yourselves that
actually
name?
it was actually a Swedish guy that put the name tungsten and wolfram on it from the very beginning.
Right.
In Swedish, it sounds like heavy stone, tung, heavy,
Yeah.
stone.
Right.
But together it's a name, and that's this metal that's very heavy, and yeah, it needs to get really, really warm before it starts melting.
Okay, then so you had no other names for the band. That was the only name that you came up with.
We had a band name called Strucker from the beginning, but our first label didn't like that name. So therefore we had to start brainstorming and come up with a different name, which wasn't that easy because we actually liked Strucker. But eventually we came up with Tungsten. And the fun thing is, we checked around on Google and everywhere if there was any other bands called Tungsten, and we found nothing. We've actually literally found nothing. So we decided to go with Tungsten. That sounds cool. That's also different and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, but so that's why it became Tungsten. But the fun thing is that afterwards we have learned that there is a few old bands that used to be called Tungsten that doesn't exist anymore. There's a cover band in the Netherlands called Tungsten. There is also I think there's a band in France called Tungsten, but they end the name with the numbers 10 instead.
Right. Okay, interesting.
But on the other hand, we own the copyright for the name, so yeah, there
That's
will be
good.
no hassle about it.
Right, then, Mike. So I'm going to ask you quickly. Out of the previous three albums, what's your favorite? And how do you see the music as how do you see the albums as a progression?
The first three albums,
Yeah,
you mean?
yeah.
I think of course, typical answer, boring me. I love them all. But Bliss is the first attempt to try to broaden us and broaden the boundaries a little bit musically. So Bliss is have a very special place in my heart, I have to say.
So how do you see each album as a progression? Because I know you've got that growling, like the death growling in certain songs. How do people take that with all the other instruments that are going on, like your symphonic stuff, your folk music? Does it gel well? Do people like it?
Yeah, it seems like most do. The ones that don't like growl, they either they think it's not a problem because we don't have that much growl. It's only like an effect and parts on few places. But or there are those that yeah, you would have been good if you skipped that growl. Then there are the other side of things that loves growl that think it should be more. So, but basically, we have never heard anything bad, actually. I mean, my wife, for example, she don't like growl, but the way Carl is doing it in our Tungsten songs, she actually likes it because it's more like a spice and effect.
Right.
Instead of a leading thing, so to speak.
So how do you see each album as a progression then, the first three albums? How do you see them progress?
I think the last album, Bliss, is our darkest album, except for the song On the Sea. That's a very chanty and happy song. But apart from that one, I think Bliss is our darkest album. The first two albums are more folky and Viking, old Nordic musical style. But like I said, this Nordic folk metal style we keep in through all our albums. It's just that we do more different songs. On the new album, the Grand Inferno, I think is a natural progression from a Bliss, where we try even more boundaries. But I think it's more epic, and I don't mean to brag or say epic as great. I mean epic as it feels bigger somehow. That's my feeling as a member of the band.
Okay.
So yeah. But we are proud of them all. It's like children. I mean, every album we did have their own feel. So and each equally important to our success, so to speak.
So when are the band going to be touring? Have you any plans to tour? Have you got anything set up?
We have a tour in Scandinavia starting in Östersund in Sweden on September 12th. Together with Sonata Arctica, Firewind and opening band Sirius Black.
All right, that'd be a good tour.
Yeah, that's at least 7 shows. We have a festival coming up at the end of August as well in Sweden. But after that, we have nothing. Yeah, there is one show that I can't reveal just yet. It's finished, but it's not official yet. But we are working for next year to get more tours and festivals. Our German booking agency is working their fingers to the bone.
Which company is that? Is it Continental or somebody?
No, it's Dragon Productions.
Right. If you need a drum tech, Mike, you know where I am.
I'll call you.
Yeah, please get Anders a message. But I'd like to thank you for doing this interview, Mike. Do you have anything to say to the people watching this on YouTube?
Yeah, go and get the new album that will be released on October 18. And if you haven't heard about Tungsten, please get in our social medias like Spotify, Apple Music, wherever, and check us out. Our music is also released on CDs and vinyls. So yeah, check it out and hope you like it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mike. Have a great day, my friend. I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Take care.
You
Thanks,
too.
Mike. Bye-bye. Cheers.